came across this video of Ryan Reynolds saying something that you will not believe. So we are back, Melanie off script, and I am again talking about Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, also known as Plantation Barbie, Plantation Khaleesi, KKK Khaleesi, and Small Dick Pool. So with this video popped up for me. A lot of people are sharing things with me as I'm exposing their past. You would think that that they would scrub the internet of these things, but for some reason I guess they think we're too stupid to find them. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I'm just going to say I posted this on the 11th. Okay, so March 11th I posted this. If you're not following me on all of my social media, on TikTok as well as X, I am Real Melanie King over there. I'm Real Melanie King everywhere. But take a listen to this, and then we're going to also play a clip of Blake Lively saying something pretty egregious as well.
Yeah, I mean, usually I play a strong black woman, and this time was obviously a big stretch for me to play a 30-something white guy.
I don't even know. Their names are all so well. It's the MTV. It's like I'm Black Entertainer of the Year. I don't know.
Right.
Like it's the.
I mean, they just come up with these crazy categories.
Yes, exactly. Best insane, monkey face. It's crazy. I think it's like breakthrough male. I'm up against Eminem, so if I'm
curious about, a lot of people go through an awkward stage. Were you always good with the ladies? Did you always have game? What were you like as a kid?
No, not really. I mean, I really, up until I was like 18, I looked like a Vietnamese girl.
So in the beginning there, he's talking about he plays a strong black woman. Now, am I going to say that this entire thing is just the most racist thing ever and that he absolutely hates black people? No, I'm not. I'm not going to say that, because I just can't make that leap from this to this. And let me just say this outright. You guys know me. I am not a person that race baits, that cries racism, sexism, misogyny. That's just not who I am. Okay. But what we're looking at here is a pattern of behavior. What we're looking at is, once you add up in totality all of the things that we have seen from Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, it starts to paint a bigger picture of who these people are. And this is just another kind of cog in that wheel, would you say, or another piece of the puzzle. That if this was just anybody who just maybe made the, I usually play a strong, independent black woman. Okay, it's a little edgy. All right. Then when he said that these made up awards because of what did he say about black?
Strong black woman, and this time was obviously a big stretch for me to play a 30-something white guy.
I don't even know. Their names are all so well. It's the MTV. It's like I'm Black Entertainer of the Year. I don't know.
Right.
Like it's the.
I mean, they just come up with these crazy categories.
Yes.
Okay, so Black Entertainer of the Year. It was just some random category, really making fun of it. And then Conan O'Brien is saying they just make up these, crazy categories that nobody cares about. And to a degree, I can actually say that. But it's me as a black person that can say that, or if I feel that way. But for them to openly have this conversation, it's just, and to be so comfortable about this is very bizarre. But then when he talks about, I think this is the worst part. This is the worst part, guys. And if you're not black, you may not understand this, but black people, a derogatory term for black people was to be called monkeys, and specifically porch monkeys, meaning, a bunch of monkeys sitting on the porch, black people. And it was, talking about the South. And so calling black people monkeys is almost akin to calling us the N-word. I'm just going to say that, like hard R N-word. So for him to then equate Black Entertainer of the Year to monkey face, which, let's finish this.
Yes, exactly. Best insane, monkey face. It's crazy. I think it's like breakthrough male. I'm up against.
Okay, and then he talks about the small Vietnamese girl, which, I don't know how offensive Vietnamese women will take that. I don't know. But I do know outright, alluding and saying that, that the Black Entertainer of the Year is the best monkey face. That's a problem, especially, again, when you think about the two of them being married on a plantation, and there are slave cabins for people to enjoy on the property. Okay. And not only that, I don't know if you know about Blake Lively actually having a plantation-esque, she really loves the pre-Civil War South, antebellum. She had a clothing brand from her. She had a lifestyle blog, and then she went into that. In fact, let me show you it. Oh no, Blake Lively pens an ode to the pre-Civil War South. Okay, so I'll just read this. This is from 2000, it's an article from 2014. In fact, let me see, when was Blake Lively married? Okay, so she was married in 2012. They got, and then people found it, I think the backlash to their getting married on a plantation happened years later. So she got married in 2012 on a plantation, and then she was doing this whole plantation aesthetic lifestyle blog so that we can harken back to, to those days. And it says, in news that could have not been more perfectly timed for Columbus Day today, Blake Lively's heritage lifestyle site, Preserve, published a fashion editorial styled by the actress and inspired by the pre-Civil War South, titled Allure of Antebellum. The article hails the innate sense of social poise and unparalleled warmth and authenticity of the era's Southern women. The unnamed author, who we assume is not Lively, why did you assume it's not Lively? Okay, maybe, she's too dumb to write. Okay. Specifically mentioned Southern belles, Georgia peaches, and debutantes, which is how we learn that they are not talking about all pre-war Southern women here, just the white, moneyed, slave-owning class. And just so you know, not all white people had money. Not all white people had slaves. Most of them were poor. Okay. So we're actually talking about the elites, the haves and the have-nots. And then we had the slave class, which was below that. There were some Black people who owned slaves, but that's a complicated history, which is how we learn we're not talking about. Okay. The authors use the word antebellum in a misty-eyed, nostalgia-tinged way that completely ignores the brutality endured by Southern women not lucky enough to be born into privilege. And then it goes, here it is. The fact that the piece spends most of its time praising the coy belles of the ball is especially insulting, given that antebellum white women derived much of their social status from their reputation as delicate flowers, whose sexuality was considered distinctive from and more refined than that of Black women's. And of course, Black women did not enjoy the same protections, lives of beauty and grace, or leisure time. Even with that aside, the shoot makes no sense from a fashion standpoint. We all have talked about how she styles herself famously. Oh, we know, sis, because you look like a hot ass mess. From a fashion standpoint, since we're pretty sure hippie hats and leopard miniskirts were no Southern woman's idea of debutante ball attire. While attempting to translate the 1800s styles to today, Preserve tells us hoop skirts are replaced by flared and pleated A-lines. Oversized straw toppers are transformed into wide brim floppy and wool fedoras. What? Okay. So it's going into, the details of that. But I want to show you one more thing just to kind of like drive this whole thing home.
Ooh, Preserve, Blake Lively's short-lived digital ode to the South. It was
You know how they say that once you post something on the internet, it's there forever? Well, I took a trip down to the Wayback Machine and I found preserve.us. Did you know it has a trailer? Buckle up.
Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream. And that you could, for example, have the power within one night to dream 75 years of time. And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes. You would have every kind of pleasure you could conceive. And after several nights of 75 years of total pleasure each, you would say, well, that was pretty great.
Okay, we're not gonna play the whole thing because it's quite boring. But she was so like mystified and just engrossed in this plantation lifestyle. She's making this video, this very narcissistic video of her, and it's just kind of like I don't even know. Like it doesn't really go together. It makes no sense, but it's just I mean, it was so important that an entire production needed to be done around her being styled for this antebellum South. Now, along with that, I think I'm going to have to push it to my next video I'm going to do with her fascination with plantation life, but also her talking and, openly and very excitedly about her doing blackface. Guys, make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Again, I'm not trying to stir up racial division or make this like this is the worst racist, most prejudiced thing that has ever happened, but it's again, we are painting a full picture of this so-called victim. And speaking of victims, I also am going to do a video with, regarding Jamie Heath, who I feel like has been forgotten in this. And I believe that this is a Emmett Till moment that Blake Lively was doing to him, a black man who was Justin Baldoni's business partner. So if you like what you see, if you enjoy my coverage of this and you want to support me, make sure you subscribe, number one, to Melanie Offscript, but also check out my custom merch that I have over at realmelanieking.com. I will put the direct link to my Team Justin merch in the description box. I have it ends with court. These are all custom by me, as well as my Justice dragon and pillow and mug and shirt. So if you want to support me there, you can do that. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next one.